Hey guys, and welcome to our review for Alita Battle Angel, starring Rosa Salazar, Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly, Mahershala Ali, among several others. Also directed by Robert Rodriguez, and produced by James Cameron.
Who?
Some guy.
I'm not familiar.
Canadian.
My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Tim McGavick.
Let's do this. Alita.
Alita.
Nice.
And Phil Clark.
Oh!
Fuck you, Tim Hortons.
Oh!
And Adam Franey.
Yep, Robert Rodriguez. He's back. He is way back.
He's back.
Yeah. Like he made a movie.
Huh.
I'm not saying what
Oh,
I'm
okay.
thinking.
Right.
He's back. Did he take a break? You do 5 Spy Kids movies?
His career's
He
weird.
did the Sin City sequel.
So
I don't know.
weird.
What was the last thing he did? Tim, can you give us a little synopsis of Alita?
I can, yeah. It's great.
Alita.
In 2563, a cybernetic doctor recovers a state-of-the-art cyborg from a trash heap. Upon being reborn, Alita soon discovers that she is more than just a cyborg.
She's more than just a cyborg.
Yeah.
Is she?
Interesting. I guess. I mean,
That's a
we'll
great-
get into it.
She's not your typical cyborg.
Phil, let's start with you.
Mm.
What are your thoughts about Alita?
Philippa.
For those of you that know me, personally, I have a little rule of thumb that I go by, a little general rule.
Okay.
The more I see a movie before I watch it, the worse it tends to be. I saw a lot for Alita Battle Angel.
There's a lot of
There's
eyes.
a lot out there.
Yeah.
A lot of marketing.
And I did like some of it, but overall I did not enjoy Alita Battle Angel.
You didn't enjoy it.
Hot
I did
take.
not.
So
Scorch
What did you
earth.
like about it?
I thought some of the action scenes were compelling. Like, I was engaged with that. I found the way they started and initiated some action scenes were interesting. I thought the visuals of Alita, while initially, like, were striking to me, like her saucer
Uncanny
eyes,
Valley.
Anime eyes.
I found it didn't, like, towards the end of the movie, I wasn't, like, thinking about, like, how big her eyes were. It just kind of seemed to fit with her character. So if they made those giant eyes, and especially like when she's talking to other people with regular size eyes,
Yeah.
it was like it engrossed me in that sense, I guess. Action was good, like I said.
Good.
Things I didn't like about it. Let's start there.
Okay.
Story was a wet noodle for me.
A
Was
wet
it-
noodle.
Was
A
a
wet
story?
noodle.
I think I have a theory as to why.
Interesting.
Why it was a wet noodle?
Yes.
Interesting.
I remember thinking, with about 40 minutes left, I really hope there's not 40 minutes left. I was quite bored at some points in this movie. Towards the
Bored,
end.
really?
Yeah.
It did feel long. I'm not gonna lie. There was a
Well-
point where I'm like, oh shit, we're still going.
I'm like,
If I know where this is gonna end, which I kind of felt like I
So
knew where it was
long.
gonna end, I'm like, we got some time here. We got some things that gotta happen.
I did think Mahershala was very good.
Really?
I did.
He's always
Very.
good.
He
He's
is
always
always
good.
good.
Let's be honest.
He makes a good villain too. He's very
Yeah.
intimidating.
I thought he did
It's the
that very
voice.
well. I just didn't enjoy this movie too much.
It feels
There's some
stale.
nice action. It doesn't feel like the action has any meaning, not weight, because there were some like moments where I was like, "Ooh, brutal." But
Yeah,
it
there's a
doesn't.
couple surprising things.
It doesn't have any like weight or like
Emotional weight behind
narrative weight to
Right,
the
right,
action.
right.
It's just kind of
Mm.
action to have action. And I did enjoy watching it, but like there was a bit of a disconnect for me between the action and the story and how they kind of tied together.
it. Okay.
That was my.
That's fair.
Interesting.
Adam, let's jump over to you. Now you just watched this
I did just
mere
leave the screen.
seconds ago.
Moments ago.
We in the Scott's home theater here at the studio.
Yeah, just over there.
Studio 1.
I got 3D
One
IMAX
studio
on me.
drive.
I did. It was about half full. The theater, not your house.
Optimistic.
Yeah. It was bad, I would say.
Oh.
I did not enjoy it. Unlike the creator of Alita Battle Angel, I didn't think it was the greatest movie in the world today. Or of all time, or
We
whatever
have no
the fuck. Yeah, I thought that to say something good about it, I thought it looked good. a lot of the like wides of the cityscapes and the city in the sky, whatever it was called, Zoloft or something.
Zoltan.
Zolom.
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 Yeah. It's like Zalum.
Okay, so Zolom looked good. Smeagol.
From below.
Yeah,
It looked good from below. We
Right.
didn't actually. Well,
Well, good point. Yeah, that's it. I think Alita was very, very jarring. Like, I never forgot that I was looking at a CG person or what, cyborg, whatever, right? I thought like all the acting was so wooden and cold and like stale. It was like nobody wanted to do this movie. It just felt like a paycheck to everybody, and the newcomer guy I've never seen before I thought was terrible.
The kid?
Hugo?
I thought he was the kid from Warcraft. I could have sworn they're the same person in my mind.
Could be.
Let me
They're
see.
not.
No.
No, his name's like
Kean
faceless
Johnson?
Kean
kid.
Johnson, yeah.
I think he was like they had an open casting call.
Really?
and they picked him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to say don't
Looks
quote
like
me
it.
on it, but
Doesn't shock me.
Did you think that this is my take on it? He looked like he was like weirdly older than her at some points, and then like the same age, but like it wasn't like they were like 70. It was like a weird,
Yes.
like I'd never really pieced together like where they stood in terms of age. Like I get, we'll
he
get
did
into it.
look
in
young at
spoilers.
certain points, and then there was
Yeah.
a scene where he like had his shirt off,
Completely like,
Yeah.
and I'm
and like
like,
he looked 28.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was weird. It was weird.
it was definitely jarring.
It was fun.
He was
yeah.
and
It's a
what
weird
I
movie.
remember reading about how they did an open casting call was they liked him because they wanted someone who was like ethnically ambiguous as well.
Yes.
He's like he
No
is.
idea.
He is.
He is, but it's an
Could be
odd thing.
Italian
It's an
or
odd thing that he's
Asian
required.
or-
Yeah,
There's no telling, really.
he's a mutt, I guess. I
Uh,
don't know, it's not racist,
Indigenous.
but,
Indigenous, perhaps.
yeah, it's weird, hard to pin him down.
I also felt like it was like straddling this line that made it for nobody, like no audience. Like it wasn't fun enough to be like a children's film, but then I think Alita says fuck
Yeah.
in this movie.
they
I'm
say
pretty sure,
one
right?
fuck.
One dude
So
gets cut in
PG,
half.
13.
People get their faces cut off, and people get cut in half, and and when Ed screams like that bitch broke my nose, I'm like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah,
is
it's
this
weird.
like, but
It's
also-
edgy for like kids.
yeah, but it's
It's-
like too like bad for adults. Like no adult could take this seriously. I feel like when they're playing rollerball, like when he's teaching her how to play. I was like, is this from the fucking '90s Power Rangers movie or something? Like on these rollerblades, like super cringe, and just yeah, yeah.
This isn't a fair thing to say. It's not fair at all to
Uh-oh.
compare.
Oh,
But imagine if it was literally like rotoscope animated, like an anime. Like the
What do you
exact
mean?
same movie. We see the exact same movie, but it was literally animated.
like hand drawn.
Like hand drawn animated.
I feel like it would probably be better. Yeah.
We would probably be saying
So you're
it's
getting
good.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's very
it's just
possible.
it's a weird thing. I thought about this after the movie.
Because like at least it would be animated, so it has that style of like animation where it's more poppy and like
But the
Bubblegummy?
exact same story
yeah,
and narrative.
that
we
would lend
say
itself to animation.
we would say it would be good.
Yeah.
but
Right.
in live action, like they're just the performances are so wooden. Like Christoph Waltz, just everything he does in this movie, it looks weird. Like when he's peeling that orange.
Yes, he's like holding it out
What are you
here, just like
doing?
and when he's eating it as well. I'm like, he's like eating his like,
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
he's like
Right. I'm like,
doing this weird thing.
what is happening?
It reminded me of like Star Wars prequels or something where they're acting against green screen. I
Yeah.
don't know if that was a problem.
I heard there was
Oh, the
very
bombers.
little green screen on this movie, and that
Yeah.
they built all of those sets for real.
The fuck?
Yeah.
How's
The
that
I
sets-
heard
supposed
that
to
times why the
be?
budget was so high.
Really?
Obviously, a lot of seat went to the CG in creating Alita and all the sort of background stuff. But they
Interesting.
built a lot of sets. Like the people
Uh,
involved, I think Christoph Waltz even said that the sets were so real and expansive. Like he was really
Really?
impressed.
I do remember reading that they had the biggest set, like in the world at the time.
During production.
Yeah, the greatest set in the world.
The greatest.
It's probably that like intersection, like
Yeah.
right outside his
Had to
office. I
be.
imagine was all probably
Mhm.
actually built.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I like.
Sorry to cut in. I just
Go ahead.
that part outside I noticed during the movie, like we kept going back to that street right outside.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of where the bar is and where his
The
office is and like,
churches or whatever it is.
yeah, it's all in the same block.
Yeah,
and
of
you can
course.
tell it's like that's what they built.
Yeah.
The alley too.
Yeah,
Just a stale movie, I feel like.
okay.
I like the designs, though, I will say that. Like the costumes, like Ed Screen's costume was amazing. Anytime he turned his back to
His
the
back
camera,
looked cool.
I was like, oh shit, all the detail. Like, yeah, just basically the look is the only thing I liked.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in.
Uh-oh. This should be up your alley, I feel.
No,
This is in
I'm
your
a sucker
wheelhouse.
for like creating
Oh,
worlds.
he
you
likes
know?
world building.
I like world building. This movie's not great, but at the same
Very
time,
good.
I appreciate what went into it. Like, I thought the CG overall was pretty great. Her face didn't bother me that much because of the whole thing, how she's a cyborg, and you know, during the film, you see that there's some other people with the same thing, and that they're all cyborgs. And anyways, I sort of detached myself from that, and I did think visually it was pretty stunning. Like, I didn't. There wasn't any moment where like, that's fucking CG. Like, I kind of accepted most of what I was seeing. My eyes accepted what was being seen. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think there was a moment where I was like, wow, like this. You know what I mean? Though, like it wasn't bad, but I don't think it wowed me visually.
yeah, no, it just kind of all blended in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it sort of felt like you were watching
It's
something that was
cool.
real. It just wasn't that great. You know what I mean? But like, it felt real at least. I did really like the action sequences though, for the most part. There was that bar fight when it kind of turned into like the church scene from like Kingsman a little bit. How she was kind of flipping around and like just destroying everyone in like kind of one big long sequence there. And I did like is it rollerball or like murder ball? What is it called? Motorball.
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 MB.
Rollerball.
It was like murder ball.
She learns on rollerball, and then motorball is like the big league.
Oh, because they got
Okay,
motors
I see.
and they're not
Okay.
rolling.
They're motoring.
I did like those sequences, and just the visuals of like the people that were kind of like these big, like the Gruishka character and like those kind of characters were pretty crazy. How they were like all integrated with like these weird shapes, like massive bodies. Like that was done really well. Like the effects of that.
Yeah, it looked good. Photorealistic almost.
And like Ed Screen, like you said, the visuals of his character were pretty great.
That sword.
That like goatee thing on his.
But
Nasty.
beyond that, yeah, there was not a lot there. I mean, I was entertained by this movie. I probably like it more than you guys, but
Interesting.
it's still narratively very cliche. There's not, and again, it's like if this was an anime, I sort of put aside the narrative cliches and I sort of, you know, can enjoy the animation and the characters and certain things like that. I sort of focus on different things if it's an anime. But the fact that it's live action, there's different set of expectations on it. You know,
Well
we as a viewer expect more from the narrative. It's this weird thing, like, you know, which makes certain anime movies, you know, elevate themselves above the rest when they have that narrative edge.
Yeah.
You know, there's more going on narratively, which, you know, is not that common. And when it does happen, it's kind of an amazing anime thing, right? But with this movie, yeah. And I didn't love that. I mean, we can get into it. They set up the next installment.
Very ham-fisted.
We can talk about how they did that. On one hand, like, I saw it coming, but at the same time, I'm like, I want an arc here, and I kind of got 2/3 of it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, is this like, is there enough to warrant a sequel? Like, I don't want the like, what's it called? What was that? The Universal Monsters universe thing. Like, is this gonna be dead on arrival, this franchise, or is it gonna make enough? I mean, we were talking a bit about the
Box
how much
office.
money, the box office of this movie, and it's kind of borderline in my opinion. Like, it might make its money back.
Are the reviews
I don't.
good?
Is it opening in China? Do we know?
I don't know if it's opening in China. I would hope
That
it
might
is.
help.
Yeah,
I
That
would
might help
imagine
a
it would
lot.
smash there.
So you never know.
94 million overseas.
You never know.
International.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're getting a Meg sequel, right? It's like certain movies like you would never in North America. Sorry to bring that Meg up. There's certain movies that would never get a sequel, and if it never opened overseas. But
Maybe
then certain
we
movies.
should cancel theaters everywhere but North America and weed out what doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
That's
You can
what
keep
I'm
Europe
thinking.
around. Europe's come up with some bangers.
Yeah.
And some parts of Asia too, like
I agree with that.
Korea.
No, I don't want
Japan.
movies to open there. I want them to make movies.
Oh,
but I
you just don't want
them
the
to see
theaters. Okay,
movies.
all right, yeah, that's fair.
That's
To
not
get
really fair.
The Meg
Censorship.
As far as the acting and the other elements of this film, the acting is pretty flat for the most part.
Right?
I did like Rosa Salazar. I think Alita herself. I thought there was a bit more there.
Yeah.
Her kind of innocence and all that. I thought she was.
Voice, I thought.
I don't know. She was a compelling character for me. Everyone else sort of fell into those tropes. You know, a little disappointing. I did like Mahershala Ali, and there were some really funny cameos. I thought.
There's one hilarious one.
Unintentionally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get into. I'm not sure which one you're referring
I'm
to.
talking about like the very last one we see.
Oh,
The very, very last
I
one.
love-
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get into that.
I was
fucking
blown
I got a funny
away.
that? Oh,
I had a funny thought the whole time with that
Disgusting.
character. I'm like, did they actually get this person to do
Yeah,
this?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked.
But it wasn't. I thought it was at the very end. To be honest.
Disgusting.
Tim, what are your thoughts about Alita, though? I want to hear what you think.
I like Alita.
Oh.
Let me rephrase that. I liked the character of Alita.
Ah, gotcha.
I agree. I think she was very compelling. I think the effects on her were pretty good.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah, like it looked really good. Like especially like the body part of it. Like I couldn't tell. Like the clothes were probably CG. Like I literally couldn't tell.
Do you think it was jarring though? Because I thought it was jarring. Like I thought it looked
I got
good,
o- I got
but I
o-
also
I got over it.
Did
It's
you?
weird that she's like the only one that looks like that. Because all the other people are also cyborgs, but she's.
But then the
you earn
part,
something about her character. She's
you know.
Mm.
Not-
So
Interesting.
not terrestrial.
Okay.
Potentially.
Okay.
Besides that, though, not a whole lot going on here.
Well, hollow.
You mentioned the story being what, Noodle?
yes.
This is based off a manga series, and you could literally almost tell when
It's like
like
wet ramen
an
noodles.
issue ended and like a next issue started because the story was very like 10-minute segments of like stuff
I
happening.
meant to bring that up.
It was very
so
weird. It's like the movie could have ended like 4 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is this going? Like
Yeah.
this
Was
What's
this a
plot
the
is
Netflix
where's the resolution?
series? Like what the fuck?
the plot just unfolded so slowly over the
it probably would have
entire.
been good as a series if they did 10 episodes.
Yeah, something that would be.
Like Altered Carbon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have cost too much.
But
Let's be honest.
I don't have much to say. It's the performances are wooden. They range from
So
wooden to
wooden.
bad, except for Mahershala. I do like
I
him,
thought
and
he
I
was
like
good.
Rose Salazar. But Christoph Waltz is bad. New Guy's bad. Jennifer Connelly's
You're not wrong.
given nothing to do.
Ed Screen is Ed Screen.
Ed Screen's in green. Jackie Earl Haley
As Grushka.
as Grushka was
I mean,
was
he was
interesting.
just chewing up the scenery.
That's who that was?
Yeah. I was trying to pinpoint. I was like, did they get like a UFC fighter or something?
Yeah.
That's what I assumed it
There,
was.
there were some funny cameos. I should pull up the thing here.
Yeah, please.
Well, not a lot actually, but Michelle Rodriguez
Yes.
as the other cyborg warrior.
I knew that voice.
I recognize that
okay.
voice.
Yeah.
Jai Courtney
Saw
as
that,
the
yeah.
motorball champ guy.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
gross.
what is he doing in
Yeah.
here?
In one scene.
What was that?
And the funniest thing for me was Casper Van Dien, who you guys might know
Yeah.
as the star of Starship Troopers.
Right.
The kind of, straight jawline, like the hero
He
dude.
was supposed to be a big star in the '90s, and then he just kind of
His
did.
career died, but he was the guy that, let's say he's involved in the flashback with Christoph Waltz's character.
That's him.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that kind of crazy, like, tripping balls. He needs the drugs. I need the drugs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Casper Van Dien. I'm like, what the heck?
It's a weird role.
But yeah, and we got
Casper.
Isa Gonzalez as well, who was she was in Baby Driver. She was the person with the weird spike hands.
Yeah.
The woman.
Weird.
But yeah. And there's another cameo. We're gonna get into that one.
That one's
Maybe we should give our rating and we can get into some spoiler talk. There's a few things to discuss.
yeah.
I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna say it's like a light 3 for me. Borderline heavy 2.
I'm gonna go like light 2. I was bored
Very
for
boring.
a lot of
You
it.
know what? Yeah, heavy. It's a heavy 2.
Yeah.
Let's be
I was
honest.
very bored.
Devastating.
It's a 2. It's a 2. It's a solid 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2. It's very hard to redeem boring. I find
Yeah.
that's just the most irredeemable
Yeah.
thing in like cinema. Just being boring.
If you're sitting there watching a movie like oh fuck, I want to check my watch, but like I can't check my watch.
I checked my watch a few times.
I was like, I didn't want to like light up the like people behind me. I was like, I'm gonna let them enjoy it. Maybe, hopefully, someone here can enjoy it. But
Well, fair warning, if you haven't seen Alita, we're going to
Greatest
talk
movie in
some
the world.
spoilers here. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out or don't. Let's start off with the end. Now, I just want to preface this. I mean, there's this character called Nova, okay?
Mhm.
Now, Nova, during the film, you see as kind of this possessive quality, takes over, sees through the back of their eyes of these different characters, kind of possesses them and sort of works their
speaks
mouth like a
for
puppet.
them.
Yeah.
What's the Samuel L. Jackson thing? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. What's that movie called?
Other Guys?
Other Guys, yeah. Anyways, he sort of, Mahershala Ali sort of takes over his character a little bit, also a little bit of Gruishka, Jackie Earl Haley's character, and he's sort of the puppet master, if you will. And
Indeed.
you get a couple shots of him during the film.
It was from the
And
back.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was James Cameron. Is that
Yeah.
crazy?
No, it's
Is that
not.
crazy? Tell me I'm crazy.
Because of the hair.
I was like,
and,
did they get
yeah.
James
The hair,
Cameron
the-
the cameo
no
as
chin.
Nova?
I instantly knew who it was.
I didn't realize until
Really?
Yeah.
the final shot of him. I was
How?
like,
Yeah.
is that?
He had some serious prosthetics
Yeah.
going on. His chin, everything.
I prayed it wasn't him. If we should say, I guess spoiler, Edward Norton, the
Baffling.
perfect fit.
Last shot of the film
Maybe.
was
Essentially,
him,
it was
him
him.
taking off the goggles he wears, and it's Edward Norton's face. And I'm like, no, and then it just like ends as Alita.
I was like, is that Edward Norton? Like, the whole time my mind was like, it's James Cameron.
I
and
wish.
And then he took it up. I was like, no, they can't be doing this. They can't get...
How did they convince
bizarre.
him?
I don't know,
I
man.
just don't understand.
It's
I
weird.
don't understand.
Is there a James Cameron connection, though? Obviously, he produced it. And the Robert Rodriguez connection. Was he in any movies?
I can't.
before?
That's what went through my head, and no, I can't come up with one. Like, I just don't get it.
That's bizarre.
It's weird. It's very.
I
Strange.
don't hate it. I like him as an actor, obviously, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just jarring. I'm like, this is a weird role for
He doesn't do like.
such a big actor to do. This
The
like,
character, from what I understand, is the big bad.
yeah.
But,
Interesting.
yeah, it's weird.
This was kind of like the final straw for me for like how Wet Noodle the story was, because I was like, oh, this would be like interesting if like they got into this whole like classist dichotomy. This girl's trying to go up with her boyfriend, whatever.
Like Elysium style.
Yeah, like that would be kind of cool, interesting. And then they kind of like put all this stuff that they had to like. It felt like a checklist almost, where like I
My
get why this
favorite.
would be better as an anime, because like you would feel like there's like more coming, and like they can develop that
Yeah.
that bad guy and that like
It had a serial
that
aspect to it.
yeah. And I was like, I just felt like I was so like, okay, we're doing the motorball again, and now we're back to like Ito's ex-wife, and now we're back to like the Hunter Warriors. I'm like, I'm just like,
Well, now that we're into the spoiler
so
section,
tired.
the guy Hugo, his story, I didn't believe it. I didn't feel it, you know?
Yeah.
How he has to
No.
take the parts from those people. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have, like, let's be honest. Like, you like Alita, you just give it up, man.
And then in the bar when he like sees like Grulesh, whatever his name is,
Gruishka.
Gruishka with the like claw, he's like, like I took that from. It's like, where do you think like these are going? Like they're
Yeah.
just like, oh, thank you. Like,
just didn't
we'll
believe-
put this in a museum. Now.
I didn't
Like,
believe
thank you very
anything his
much for your
character
service."
did or said or acted. Like, I just didn't. It
No.
didn't feel right.
Same.
I did not like his ending either. How they killed him,
I didn't mind that.
brought him back, and then just killed him again. Like the next scene, I'm like, just killed him the first time. I didn't like him that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get
Yeah.
stabbed and then die, and then meet someone
They,
more
they
interesting.
couldn't save him. Yeah.
Oh, it's
And I
so
like the motorball sequences, but I was like, why am I watching motorball? Like,
Yeah.
why aren't they just like killing her in this? Because
Yeah,
I was
why,
like,
why aren't they? Yeah.
why aren't they just
yeah.
killing her in the
Yeah,
street?
it's so contrived.
like, why do I have to watch a motorball?
You can
sequence?
tack
It's
her
just
at
a
any
very
moment.
anime thing.
It's like
Yeah.
You know.
it's
'Cause they
cool. I
need
like
the
it. I like
action.
that whole.
Set piece of some sort to justify 3D, I guess.
I'm like, okay, we're playing. Just
Playing motorball.
I did
Motorball.
what I will say. This is sort of like a backhanded compliment because we almost got none of it. But I really like the flashbacks. Anytime
I was gonna mention
it
that.
would like go into her eye and go white, and then show. I was like, give me that movie.
Yeah.
I would much rather see that. Like when she's on the moon, that looked amazing. And when she's running up that exploding thing and her like
The scissor
mentor
like,
grabs her.
Yeah.
All
Very
that
cool.
looked
Like more of
amazing.
like a war movie.
Yeah.
Like, give me that.
Give me that, man.
Yeah.
Go.
War of the classes and whatever. We got the
Mars.
techno. What was it called? It was. They had some weird.
I don't know what it's called.
It was like, I want to say it was like oligarchy, but it was like technogarchy, or it was something weird
Yeah.
like that. Some made up
Blah blah.
word.
And we talked about Lego Movie last week, and in the first Lego Movie, they made a whole like philosophical arc about like the special, like you know how it's not really like it doesn't really matter, like everyone can be special. And this movie was so like riddled with that, like oh you're the special one from like the people, and now you've got this sword. It's just like trope after. I'm like, come on, like everything's just lining up. So
Yeah.
it's a movie, right? It doesn't
I
have to
didn't
be
li-
like deep, but
See,
I'm
they
like,
set it up so much, like they teed it up in such a way that they didn't explain a lot of things that would have been nice, like that would have paid off really nicely. That I'm sure they're just putting in the bank and hoping to pay it off in later movies, which is, I hate that.
it's a risky bet.
I hate that, right? But the whole
gross.
Mars thing, it's like, well, why? Like, why was Mars attacking
Earth.
Earth? Like, what's the story there?
Why were they specifically attacking like the floating cities?
Yeah, why Zolom?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Why is Zolom the only one left? Like, how did it become the only one left?
Yeah, why? How did it survive?
Just go
There's
read
so
the
many
manga.
questions.
You don't
Right.
even need to see the movie. Just read the
I
manga.
guess, but as a
Really?
film, it doesn't work. As a series, it
No.
wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You know, because it's sort of, you have a longer form where you can explore these different ideas and
Develop them.
develop them more. But as a standalone film, it doesn't work in my opinion.
It's weird.
You need to have a start and a finish, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For it to stand alone. But was there anything else? I guess. How about Jennifer Connelly? Her character got.
Her gets fucked up. That was
She got fucking.
that was disturbing. A little
They
bit,
just
actually,
pulled
to be
her.
honest.
They just pulled all her parts out and just
Yeah,
put it
so-
in a box.
I'll give her respect for that. There was some
Nova's
brutal
doing
moments.
like experiments, and he only needs like parts of people. And since she's a doctor, he's
Just the
like, "I'll
brain
just
and
take
the
your
eyes.
eyes, brains, and your hands."
Eesh.
I'm like, that's
I'll just
that's
gut
fucked
you.
up.
That is fucked up.
The blinking was
That's
crazy.
straight
It was
anime.
just
Like that's like anime has some pretty dark shit
Oh, yeah.
sometimes like that, and that's straight anime.
Just like the friend getting cut in half and shit like that. I'm like,
out of fucking nowhere.
certain things, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
shit, that guy got
Killed the
fucked
puppy?
up.
Yeah, killed
Yeah,
the puppy.
stomped. Did he stomp
Yeah.
the puppy or what did
No,
he
I think
do?
he like
I think he
stabbed
was
it.
just
with
shot through.
He just
with
like
his finger.
slapped it. What did he do? He just.
By the way, the finger
He just
sequence
bopped it.
with like the chain fingers. One of the
Bopped it.
coolest sequences I
I
think.
would say it was a
Yeah.
really cool fight scene.
Like when she's
Well,
diving.
she
through
got
and
fucked
shit.
up.
yeah, when
She
he
got
was,
fucked up
Yeah.
hard. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, she got cut in half.
Yeah.
Sick.
She got like arms like
Yeah.
cut off and like body ripped in half. I'm like,
I did enjoy that
this
fight.
is
That was
sick.
great.
This
This.
great movie. Greatest movie in the
Greatest-
You know
world.
what? Greatest
Five.
The
movie.
greatest movie in the world.
Seen it 5 times.
Yeah, some of those moments where it gets brutal, like I did like that.
I didn't
Like you
expect
said,
it.
very anime.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I wish they leaned harder into that.
definitely.
'Cause there's definitely some
Savagery.
pretty yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're always talking about, oh, this world is so savage. People do awful
Fucked
things
up
to each
shit.
other. I'm like, you see it a couple times, but
That's what I'm saying, but like, who's this for?
it seems
Like,
pretty fun down there.
yeah,
All the
it's-
kids are just playing rollerball
Yes.
together on the street. I'm like, it seems like a fun time.
Yeah.
weird movie.
Yeah, bizarre.
Well,
That's it.
I think that'll do it for our review
Alita.
of Alita Battle Angel. Tim, where can people find us?
People can find us on Facebook and on Instagram at Up Real Late Podcast. You can find me personally on Letterboxd at Up Real Tim and on Instagram at The Craft Pundit.
Find me on Letterboxd at Wicked Swami. Post stuff.
Nice.
Check it out.
You can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. And yeah, guys, if you enjoy this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And as always, keep it real.